Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. Welcome to day 22 of our Christmas countdown series. We have already done 21 really fun doodles, journal prompts, zentangling, gluing, creating. I don't know, it's just been a great time. So today we're going to do a little bit more drawing, and you need your journal, your gold marker, your black pen, and then if you have this little green rectangle, if you could grab that. If not, any kind of a little straight edge might be helpful. And then if you have a pencil laying around, if you could grab that. Okay? All right, so we're actually gonna go all the way to the very back of our journal. So I was going to do this on the last day, but I've got something else I want to do here for the last day. So we're going to do the back today, and then we have 2 more days of things to do on this page. All right? All right, so go to the back of your journal. I think that was really fun making this out of envelopes. Don't you think so? Like, what a great way to use up old envelopes. It'd be really fun to try it with all different sized ones and see if you can make it, and then they're just kind of all stacked differently. I don't know, we may have to make another one of these sometime. Okay, I did use hot glue to put my wax seal back on, so hopefully that works. And we're gonna be drawing right down here. Now your book is getting clunky and bulgy, so it's a little bit harder to draw, but it's okay. What we're drawing today is very whimsical and does not need to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to take my pencil and my little rectangle, and I'm going to use this as a ruler. So I'm going to make 2 gingerbread houses. One of them is going to be a little bit shorter, one of them is going to be taller. So for my short one, I'm going to line this up till it's about maybe 2.5 finger widths up. I know that's hard to see, so let me grab one of my brown ones. Okay, I want there to be room for a roof up here, so I don't need to use the whole thing, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space on the side, and I'm going to trace the bottom and trace part of the top. Not the bottom, the side and part of the top. And I don't want it to be quite this wide, you know, not even as wide as the green one. So then I'm gonna scoot this over to do the side. Basically, I'm going a little bit to the left of the middle of my page. Okay, now I've got a squarish house, so that looks pretty good. I know it's hard to see with pencil. I'll move to pen in a moment. Then the one over here, I want to be a little bit taller. And I do not want it to be this wide. So let's see. I also want there to be room on the sides to do a couple of things. So I think I'm going to pencil this one in, and then we can straighten the lines afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to go about here and here. See how tall and narrow I made that? I can zoom in a bit. So now if you want to take your thing here and just make it a little straighter, we all, I think, feel better when we have some straight lines in our composition. Okay, so there I've got some straight lines. The bottom, I'm going to put some snow, so I'm not really worried about the bottom. But then I need to have, we'll add a roof later, but then I'm going to have 2 little sides coming out here. So one right here and one right here. And those are about the width of my pinky finger. And then we're going to go down, but leave a tiny bit of roof, but leave about a pinky finger width for you to draw inside of. Okay, does that make sense? Again, you can take your card and you can add a straighter line if you want. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna make this one a little bit shorter and narrower. Maybe I'll make, yeah, that roof kind of lines up with the top of that one, just so they don't look too uneven. All right, I'll let you play around for just a minute and kind of get those set. So basically we have a little squarish one, a rectangle one with little sides. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my pen and I'm going to trace the parts that I like. So before I do that, I'm gonna put the ground in. So I'm gonna just go and make a wavy little snowbank like that. Then I'll trace the house and stop at the snow. Again, it's kind of hard to draw on this bulky back, but it's gonna be fun. All right, I'm gonna take my eraser and just try to get rid of some of those pencil lines. And if it erased a little bit of my ink, I can always go back in and add a little bit more. Okay. Are you ready? All right, I'm going to put a roof on each of these before we do anything further. So I'm going to find the middle of this structure here, put a dot up here where you think the middle of the roof should be, and then I'm going to make a line that goes down to that corner and goes past it a little bit, down to this corner and goes past it a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little straight edge and a straight edge there. And then I'm going to go back up and follow it. And back down and follow it. It is pretty funny trying to draw on this bulky back, but that's okay. You always could go like this. I mean, that actually is probably a really good idea to just open up your book, because we didn't really put anything on this back part yet. Okay, that's gonna save us a lot of hassle. All right, I'm gonna do that. It still is gonna be, you know, kind of coming off the board a little bit, but that's all right. Okay, we have this roof on, and then for this one, I'm gonna do the same thing, put a little dot up here, go down and over a little bit, but then I'm gonna put like a little C shape. Go down here and put a little C shape. Making a bunch of noise as I take off my sweatshirt. Okay. Then I'm gonna follow that back up and follow it back down. And now we've got a little curved roof. And for these down here, I'm gonna add a little curve, and then I'm gonna follow that back up. And a little curve on this side and follow that. So very cute already. Okay, I'm going to go back over to this one. And I'm going to start with a door. So I'm going to put a little door over here. And let's make it round on top. And then it comes back down. Now I've got a snowbank, so I'm going to add a little rectangle like a step, just so my door doesn't get too long. Put a little doorknob in. And then let's draw a tiny little window. So I think I'm going to make 2 long, narrow windows. And then I'm going to put a little window up on top, like that. These are some tiny details. I think I'm going to put 2 more on the bottom. Then I'm going to give this whole door just the really tiniest thin border, like that. All right, down from each side of the roof on the side of the house, I'm going to add a little aura. One there and one here. And then I'm going to add some little like curvy stripes, kind of thick, like a candy cane. And then I'm going to curve the opposite way on the other one. All right. Up on the top, I'm going to add a little attic or upstairs window by putting in a little window ledge. You can make yours wider or longer if you want. And then I'm going to put an arched window up here. I'm going to put a little frame inside the window. And then just to make it look kind of whimsical and maybe made of candy because it's a gingerbread house, I'm going to put a little spiral decoration here and here, and then a little heart. Okay. All right, I'm going to put something in the roof, and I'm going to do some zigzags, which is kind of hard at the top, but we'll just improvise and hope it looks okay. And then I'm going to put little dots inside each of those triangles. And then underneath that roof line, right here I've got the candy cane kind of coming up to it, but under the other part of it, I'm going to add a little scallop. And I'm going to do the same thing underneath this roof line. Okay, got that part done. Let's add a little chimney over here, which is just the portion of a rectangle. And then I top that with a little horizontal rectangle. And I'm going to draw some little L shapes to look like bricks. And for the smoke, I like to do like some curls like that, like that. You can make yours however you would like. All right, let's get back down to the front of the house. So I'm going to put in 2 windows up here. So 1, 2. I'm going to add a little frame either to the inside or the outside, wherever you have the most room. And I'm going to add the little T shape on the inside. Got that? Okay, down here, let's do a larger window. And I think I'm going to make it match the shape of the door. So I'm going to have a window ledge down here. Make sure it's long enough. And then I'm going to add a little rounded window like I did up on the top. And I'm going to do that little T shape on the inside. And then I'm going to give it some curtains. My curtains are going to come down like this and this, that and that. Then I'm just going to add some little stripy lines on those curtains and give that a little border. That border got really messed up and I'm okay with it. All right, we need to add a few more details to make this look kind of gingerbready. So I feel like the doodles and things that I've seen online, it doesn't even have to be candy, just like whimsical, like putting the little shapes up here. So let's add some little whimsical things above the door. I think I'm going to give it a little spiral here and a little spiral here. And maybe a little teardrop. Down on the ground, I'm going to do some little loops. Those could be little plants or little candies. I don't know, they just look kind of cute. I'm going to add some dots around the window. I guess around both windows, not just the one. And I'm going to put little details inside these windows where they have that little T shape, and I'm going to color in that top part, that top little window. I don't know why, just trying to add some drama in a few places. I'm going to add that little bunting or scallop to the outside of the house. And really tiny ones to the top of the roof. I'm going to add 2 little hearts on the top of the house up here. I think that's pretty good. There's our first little gingerbread house. Isn't it cute? I feel like my windows need something, so I'm going to give that some striping. On the frame. You could even give it some curtains if you want. I'm gonna ink in my little stoop or step out here. All right, we're at 22 minutes and we haven't even done the large house yet. Okay, you ready? All right, for this large house, let's begin by putting in the front door. I'm going to do mine right in the middle, like that. I'm going to give it a frame and a door handle. And I'm going to give it a tiny wreath. So I'm just going to do a circle and a bow. And then I'm just going to put little tiny dashes all around that. It's my little wreath. If you want a little step, you can add that in, like just by making a little rectangle that's longer than the door and then coloring that in. Above the door, I'm going to put a line that's the same width as the door. And then I'm going to add this rounded little window with a V in it. It looks like a cute little window, and if you have room, add a frame around that. I did not have much room, but I kind of suggested there's a frame around it, right? It just sort of looks like it. Let's put in 2 tall windows. So I'm going to have one over here and one over here. And these are going to go nice and tall and come back down. Basically, it looks like that rounded door we did on the first one. And then instead of drawing that little grid, I'm going to put in little boxes that are probably not going to look amazing, but it suggests that I have like a little frame in there. See how I did that? So 2 little ones on the bottom, 2 in the middle, and then these just kind of follow that rounded part on top. Up here above the windows, I'm going to do a little bit of like icicles or snow coming down, adding that little wiggle. And I'm going to do a big circle window as big as I can, and then give it a little frame on the inside or the outside, wherever it fits. And I'm going to put a snowflake in this one. So it's just an X and then a straight line. And those little V's that we did before. Mine got kind of messy and smushed together, but you can tell what it is. All right, above these windows, I'm going to do a little decoration. So I'm going to come up and down like 2 little moons and give it a heart on top. I'm going to color my heart in. Put a little dot at the end of those. Across the middle of the house, I'm going to give a wiggly line and another one. I'll put some striping in that. All right, let's do our little roof areas. Let's give those some curves. Not really like a candy cane, although kind of. From these corners, I'm going to come in and give little spirals. All right, in these 2 side areas, let's do a window here that goes up and then kind of matches that angle. Maybe yours ends up looking more like a triangle. I'm going to put a little frame in there. Underneath that window, I'm going to do a sideways S shape that looks like a little spiral. And I'm going to add those lines inside. All right, down here at the bottom of these, you can do more windows if you want, but I'm going to do a candy cane heart. Okay, here's how I make my candy cane heart. I'm going to start from the bottom, and I'm going to come up and curl in and give the candy cane, and then I'm going to do the other side and curl in and give a little candy cane. I'll do the same thing over here. Basically, I'm just doing like the outside of the heart, but then when I come in, I just curl it and follow it back to make the candy cane. I do the outside of the heart on this side, curl it in, and then give those little candy cane stripes. Down the side over here, I'm going to put in some circles. And the side of this one underneath that roof. And then inside these, I'm going to put a little dot, and I'm going to put a curve, 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 curve. Actually, I think 5 probably looks better. Just making those little C shapes all facing the same way. And they look like little peppermints. I'm going to ink in those areas in between the peppermints and the house. Same thing on this side, curve, curve, curve. And ink in those little areas. I'm going to add some little dots and hearts on the inside of those roof areas. So I'm going to do a dot, a heart, a dot, heart, dot, heart. All right, we're almost done. I'm going to put a couple of dots across the middle here just because I have space. And then I'm going to put some little hearts, or like kind of the double loops, I guess, coming up the side of the house along both sides of the door. Look how cute that is. Your little candy canes down here, if you want to make those into windows, you can by putting that little vertical and horizontal line. Okay, what do you think? How's it looking? I'm going to add a tree back here by putting in a tall line. And I'm just going to give it some little swishes. You can do a tiny one over here if you want. Draw a little present on the ground. You can add more details to the house, like if you want to put scallops up on top again, you can. Every little detail just makes these look a little more whimsical, a little more cute. All right, I'm gonna take my gold pen and I'm just gonna add some little bits of gold color. So I'm gonna do underneath the houses where it's snow, and I'm gonna color that in. I'm gonna put some dots of snow all around the house. I like that my wax seal kind of looks like the moon. All right, I'm gonna put some dots on the tree. And then I'm just gonna do a few parts of my house. So maybe I'll do the top of the chimney, put a little in these scallops. Just pick a few places where the gold might look kind of cute. Doesn't have to be a lot. I like adding it inside the windows because it looks like lights. I'm going to go around the outside of this house over here just to kind of see how that looks, kind of giving it a little bit of a trace. Star on top of my tree. All right, I think I'm done. Check that out. Isn't it so cute? Okay, now I need to trace this one too. Just sort of makes them pop. I was going to draw them in gold and then add the black, but the black doesn't go over the gold very well. Now I can't stop like outlining and... Okay, I'm going to be done. It's so cute. I love that the back of our book has some character. And then if you want, we're not going to do anything else up here. So if you want to add more, or you want to do some snowflakes up there, or maybe you want to make a gold frame around this whole thing, what if I do that? That's kind of cute. And then you can keep adding more. All right, I love it. I'll see you again tomorrow and the next day. All right, have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.